once you give people different rights or start different entitlement programs, it becomes extremely politically unpalatable to strip away any of this stuff back without people getting extremely pissed. Obviously, this stuff's true for a lot of different entitlement programs, but obviously, once you're giving out stuff for so long, and now the government rolls that back, people are going to get pissed. I think that was a big thing during Prohibition too. People were like, "We've been drinking for so long, now you're going to roll this stuff back." I think that's also become the case now with abortion. Women have had access to abortion in most of our country for so long. Now, when you mention, which the Trump administration wisely hasn't mentioned at all throughout this entire administration, very interestingly, that we completely overlooked, by the way. But, now it's going to be impossible to roll that back because women have had access to abortion for so long. It would make it a lot more difficult too.
Well, wait a minute. You realize that Trump is like, no, this is a states' rights issue now, and that was the intent of the administration.
Yeah, I think it was.
Why would he mention it?
It was politically savvy for them to lay off the issue that's been dragging down Republicans for so long. I also think they actually encouraged. There was a case in Texas about the abortion pill that they encouraged judges to dismiss because maybe you know more specifically about it, but I think it was how there's issues with mifepristone, I believe, the abortion pill that is more threatening to women's health than previously led to believe. But then the Trump administration encouraged judges to dismiss this case and not push it forward. They're not trying to make the abortion issue an issue at all. My larger point here, though, is that when women have, or anybody has access to abortion or rights or different entitlement programs for so long, it becomes unpopular to strip those back or take those rights away.
Yeah, I mean, that's fairly...
I think the way to do it for Social Security, like the only way that would be politically feasible, is you have to reimburse everyone exactly the amount that they've paid in. And then for people who are close to or at retirement age, perhaps open up an account privately for them.
Like a sunsetting
of it. It's complicated. One thing we could do is we could install lights in people's hands that when you're about to turn 30, they blink red. And then when you turn 30, it blinks red.
We need caps and reforms.
Just allow people an option.
Serge knows what I'm talking about.
Let people
Well, they should do it like an HSA.
opt out. Look, if we'd have pegged the Social Security fund or the money that the Social Security fund, the money that's supposed to go to Social Security, if you'd have pegged it to the stock market or made an investment account with that same money, you wouldn't have any problem with the.
Well, yeah, you only get like 75 cents back on the dollar because of inflation for Social Security.
It needs to be restructured, or else it's going to destroy the dollar.
Yeah, what I think is total BS is the cap on Roth IRAs of they upped it to $7,000 I think last year. There's an income limit and there's a contribution limit.
So interesting you mentioned that because I was very curious about this myself. I actually read into it, and the reason why the Roth limit was so low is because it was purposefully planned for low to middle income people, and they didn't want it to be abused by people who did make.
How is it abused?
Because if you have enough money to invest something like $20,000 some odd dollar, invest $20,000 or plus some odd dollars and still reap those tax benefits, like there are other ways.
You're still paying the tax. You're just paying it up front.
That's what Senator Roth, when he tried to make, when he made the Roth IRA thing a thing, was the reason, his reasoning behind it.
So you're disincentivizing people from using this really awesome retirement account. And it's not because of they didn't want rich people to abuse it. It's because they wanted people wedded to Social Security.
Well, when
Just get rid of it all of it. You name it. No more roads. Nothing.
You sound like Thomas Massey.
Libertarians.
Yeah.
No, I don't agree with libertarians.
That's why they only get a point or two in any general election.
Yeah, the best they ever did, I looked it up, was 3.3 with Gary Johnson.
You don't.
Oh wow, Dave Smith didn't do better than him?
Dave Smith didn't.
Damn, I'm shocked. Wow. Oh, okay. I wonder why he didn't.
Nobody's a libertarian because everybody wants to tell other people what to do with their lives.
Okay, hold on. Elon, you do know what the Libertarian Party is, right?
I don't think the Libertarian Party knows what the Libertarian Party is.
It is an amalgam of degenerates who want their degenerate things to be legal, so they band together and basically say, I'll make my degenerate thing illegal, and then you can have your degenerate thing be illegal. Deal? That's what the Libertarian Party is. Have you been to one of their conventions?
I have.
And it's half that and half Ron Paul fans.
So the thing is, I think younger right-wingers have some affinity towards some of the ideals of libertarianism, but when I turned hard against the way it manifests in the Libertarian Party is when they had a rally with literal communist and socialist groups, and that made me realize this against the imperial war machine rally.
There are people that call
Angela
themselves
McCardle and others.
Angela McCardle is not a socialist, but there
She rallied with
communists.
communists.
Hold on, there are people
proudly.
There are people in the Libertarian Party that would call themselves libertarian socialists. People like Vosh considers himself a libertarian socialist, and
I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking
libertarian socialists.
No, I'm talking about at this rally that the Libertarian Party in our country teamed up with different literal socialist and communist groups because they had common.
Oh, the anti-war part.
Yeah, so I think that is disgusting, and like I couldn't do any more like apologencia for the party. They should completely be abolished, and like all the influencers within
they should be abolished.
Yeah, we should totally abolish the Libertarian Party because they're a Trojan horse for the far left, and they're literal apologists for communists and socialists. Well, they're willing to work with them.
Well, no, but
what do you have to say about
why
that?
abolish the Libertarian Party?
Because
if you're going to abolish parties, why don't you just abolish the far left?
Yeah, and their allies, the far left and their allies, which are the libertarians.
I mean, if we're going to do that,
Clearly.
and
Jackboots.
if we're just pie in the sky, whatever we want, can we get a big boat, put all the leftists on it, and then send them off to Venezuela
That would be far more effective than going after the Libertarian Party, just going after leftists.
or Cuba?
Cuba.
Putting him
Their
on a boat would be
socialist
nicer
paradise?
than putting him on a plane.
A helicopter?
Well, I mean,
Whoa!
well, I got to tell you, I went on a helicopter tour of Atlantic City. They're scary.
Libertarians?
Well, libertarians are scary for different reasons, but no, I did a helicopter tour of Atlantic City.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it was
Those
one of
things
the
crash all
Helicopters
the
are
time.
yeah, it was terrifying.
I've been in a couple helicopters. They're scary.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.